Hi, Lisa here again. It is day, I think it's day 628 in Benzo withdrawal from 1.5 milligrams of clonazepam. Still going through a lot every day. Haven't seen much improvement, maybe 10% or so over these 21 months, mostly in the area of anxiety and fear and fatigue. But many of my disabling symptoms are still really strong. And I wanted to talk today about some of the body symptoms. I know that there can be just hundreds, and I've had a variety of things on the drug and off. It's just, the list can be really, really long. I haven't been hit physically like some. I know some people get this burning skin and the nerve pain, which I don't have. Some people lose their hair, and I've heard about nails crumbling and teeth crumbling, and thankfully I have not had that. And that's one of the problems sometimes, is people say, oh, you look good, but so much of my agony is internal, not external. But I have had constant buzzing on my skin. Like when your leg falls asleep and it starts tingling when it wakes up, but it's severe. It's on every inch of my skin, even in my teeth, like an electric current that never stops. It was so bad when I was tapering. I would just rock and rock. I felt like I was plugged into a socket. It would go on for like 8 hours and then stop. I still have that everywhere. I have numbness where my hands and my skin just feels kind of numb. The bottom of my left foot is half numb all the time. I just don't feel a lot of feeling in my skin. I don't know how else to say it. I remember one morning my entire forearms and hands were almost completely numb for about an hour when I woke up. I just laid there freaking out. I could not wake them up, and finally they did wake up, but just constant numbness. I have tinnitus, screaming in my ears. It goes from the sound of crickets, a swarm of crickets, to a high shrieking tea kettle. Never stops. My ears also have gurgled and popped, and the pressure, there's a lot of moving around to the pressure, like it's equalizing. A lot of eye stuff, very, very light sensitive for many, many months. I mean, the blinds were closed. I wore sunglasses when I was outside. That's gotten somewhat better. They're still sensitive. As you can see, they're red. They're sore all the time and dry, and they feel glassy, like they're just glazed over. They just hurt. They ache. I had severe headaches when I was tapering, all over headaches. That's gotten somewhat better. Those flu-like symptoms left me after a few months after I got off the drug, the fatigue and the flu-like symptoms. I used to get these stabbing pains coming at my head from outside of my head. It wasn't a headache. It was almost like, if you can imagine someone like coming to stab your head with a knife. It just stabbing pains out of nowhere. It was very, very freaky. What else? I do have a lot of muscle tension and rigidity, bone pain, tissue pain, muscle pain. For those of you who do yoga or know anything about this, before I started on the drugs 9 years ago, I was just getting into a full lotus position in the yoga, and now I cannot even sit Indian style on the floor. I can hardly even cross my legs at the ankles to sit Indian style. All my joints and muscles ache. I feel like I'm 30 years older than I am. I hobble around. Mostly it seems to be in my legs and my shoulders, my lower back sometimes. My hands feel very arthritic and gnarled, kind of. Just very, very sore, because benzos are muscle relaxers, so those muscles are just really, really rigid. I'm trying to think of what else. A lot of coughing, and they call it a benzo cough. I just have chronic coughing all the time. Sinus issues, just a lot of little things like that go on and on and on. My fatigue has gotten somewhat better, but it can still really, really hit me hard. Breathing, my chest is so constricted, my lungs, it's like an elephant sitting on my chest. I feel like I need to gasp for air a lot. It's just this real tightness, heaviness in my chest, and maybe related to the anxiety I have, but it seems like it's different than that too, because when my anxiety's down, I still have it, and it can get really bad. I had very strong beating heart for a long time. Not so much fast, but just boom, 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 like it was gonna just jump out of my chest, like I could tell I was fighting something off. That's better. And I also had heart palpitations that didn't even start until month 7. Oh, those were nasty. And they left this past August, so they left in like month 17. So I had those for about 10 months. I had that. And my blood pressure was somewhat high, not nearly as high as some people's get. So I've had all those kind of things. And while I was on the drug the last year, I had severe bowel issues. I was hospitalized for IBS. They just couldn't get it under control. It was just awful. And that might have been from one of the other drugs I was on too, because I was on 5 at one time that year, but it was just crazy. And then previous to that, I had tons of acid reflux and constant nausea. I was just constantly nauseated for years on the drugs. I had bladder issues. It was constant urination, or else the feeling like I had to go wake up 3-4 times a night to go. A lot of that stuff has resolved the longer I'm off the drugs. It's calming down. So yeah, a lot of body stuff, and like I said, I don't have the body stuff as bad as some people. I know that, and I'm so thankful for that. There's people who can't even walk, which I can, but just wanted to touch base on some of these smaller little annoying things that go along with it, because your whole central nervous system has been attacked. Pretty much anything is up for grabs with benzos. It can pretty much hit any area of your central nervous system. So all right, signing off, day 628 on benzo withdrawal. Bye folks.